for a group of variety artists in Calum Kennedy's Commando course.
As theatre bills go, this should become a collector's item. It is a proclamation of incredible optimism. It is the cast list of a Gallic whodunit. This, however, is a true story. The odyssey of a theatre company's final tour through the Highlands and Islands of Scotland under the aegis of Calum Kennedy, the last of the great singer-managers. What should have been a simple story of theatrical folk became, however, a saga of diminishing turns. For example, Flo Munn, celebrated storyteller, failed to turn up at all. As the rest of the cast assemble here in Inverness, Mr. Kennedy himself takes up the story.
Well, here we are again. Welcome to the last, maybe the final version. Don't shake your head, Lou. The final version of the KKK. Everybody keeps interrupting me.
Oh, no.
Listen, you.
Yes?
Be quiet. First of all, there's no forming any escape committees without the management being...
You don't know it, but you're 2 dancers short. They have already escaped.
In fact, he's 5 dancers short. Even at this stage, only 1 remains.
You know the old story? You can be replaced at short notice. This business of missing the bus. Now, I remember you missing the bus before.
Never.
Now, that salubrious coach out there, you're not allowed to be sick.
The height of my career, the Palladium Bergen.
This is hardly the way to the West End for you.
Oh, I know that.
Symbolically, they're heading directly away from the West End, on bleak roads, still further north, in a hardly salubrious bus.
Welcome aboard. Fares, please.
Why am I doing it?
Johnson was a white
Pushback faster a herd of sheep and a bullock. We have also spotted the abominable snowman inside the bus. So on the bus stop, where you open the door and you got a warm blast of air as you go out.
Wick is Scotland's last exit to the North Pole. By local standards, it's almost spring-like. Temperature not much below freezing, sea rather calmer than usual. It's produced about as many comedians as the north face of the Eiger.
Well, look at the weather to start with. Look, I'm going to be blown away here. Trying to make people laugh tonight. I don't know where the hell. Are they going to come out, do you think? Are they going to come out of here? To come into a town hall? So, they're starved of entertainment up here. I think they go up to that butcher's shop up the road there and they watch the bacon slicer.
The stage door of the City Hall Wick. Stardom here includes manhandling the stage props yourself.
Now, this is a piece de resistance. Be careful with this. This has shielded us from the wind. I think this whole bleak scene, I mean, to go on, I know it's corny to hear people laugh, but coming out to them and letting them see you that you can bring a show up here and I don't know what it is afterwards. You know, you feel you've done something. It's not money. It's not money or anything else. You've done something. You've come up and you've proved something to yourself a wee bit. Right, it's a 5-minute call.
5-minute call.
Despite a desperately pessimistic shipping forecast and a highly competitive night's television, the locals flock in whole, twos and threes.
Too bright.
Too bright. You need really.
Brick red.
Brick red.
In the middle.
Here. Smashing. Yes.
Chris Covington, puppeteer, performs his entire act in black cloak and face mask. However, his insistence on making up does have a plausible explanation.
I'll do the walk down at the end. I don't feel like it.
But you've got to feel like it. You've got to go on, entertain the audience.
Entertain them? Oh, for goodness sake. Oh, forget that.
Listen, these people came here to be entertained.
What are they doing here, then? Seems like I've been doing it forever already.
Right, orchestra to the pit.
The two accordions to the pit.
Orchestra to the pit, stand by for the waterfall. Watch yourself at the revolve.
There we go. Right.
Right, we've got 1 minute.
Okay, right, take it. Let's go.
It's on, but it's not very high. It's hardly on. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can't hear. Hardly.
Yeah, we can go now. Take it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Calum Kennedy Show on tour. And off we go with the Heather Isle Band.
As soon as the curtain goes up, or in this case sideways, there's alarming evidence to suggest that the devil really does have all the best tunes.
Come on, Jimmy.
No, not yet.
Sketch time, an incursion into a kind of McFaulty Towers, brings what there is of the house down.
Well, here you are, darling. If you just sit there, darling. Lovely. I'll sit down here. Waiter!
Asparagus tips. No, we'll get Benson and Hedges. Or we'll get Embassy or Woodbine. We've got Woodbine. Well, I think we've got whiskey, bags of whiskey.
2 bags of whiskey.
Stop it.
Okay, and you'll get the table.
I'll get the table.
Christopher Covington's impeccable timing with his puppets doesn't extend to his subsidiary task, that of pulling the curtains on cue.
Would you welcome, please, a good friend of mine, and I'm sure by the time he's finished tonight, he'll be a good friend of yours. All the way from dear old Glasgow town, Ken Swan and McGee. Here we are.
Ken Swan, at 66, is a man who now has no other boards to tread. His puppet, McGee, has survived fire and woodworm to reach 46.
Hold it a minute.
Set my career back 10.
You've got
Well, that's get them.
Jacob.
Jacob, well, Jacob.
What is it?
Oh, wait a minute, that's too big a drop. Keep playing.
You don't need an introduction, eh?
Eh?
You'll just go on.
No, well,
without-
I'm not putting them tabs again. I can't introduce and put tabs at the same time.
Oh, what away you go.
You're beautiful. I was in a pub in Dublin. I gave the barman a £5 note. I said, a lad's whiskey and have something for yourself. And he gave me 2 pence change. I says, the name of heavens, what did you have? He said, a pair of hush puppies. Anyway, he said, what's your name? He said, Hughie McDuff. I said, where do you come from? He said, Glasgow. said, have you lived in Glasgow all your life? He said, no yet. He said, what's your mother's name? He said, Bessie Macduff. He said, what's your father's name? He said, Son Soldiers. So... God, I'm doing comedy here and tragedy across here.
No matter where you are, you know, even the smallest hall, you're trying to make something of it. You look at the lighting, you know, and there's not much lighting, no sets. Just got to make what you've got, you know. Simple as that.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together once again and welcome your favourite singer, the voice of the Highlands, Mr. Calum Kennedy!
Oh, the fire coolings are pulling me away. I step highway back to the road, and the fire coolings are pulling love on me.
Calum Kennedy is hugely popular with older Scottish audiences, even if his stage style occasionally does remind you of Rob Roy taking ballet lessons.
My heather tracks were heaven in their wise, and if you're thinking in her heart, maggots in my step, you never smelt the tangle o' the eye.
Oh, yes,
Kennedy has been a formidable figure in Scottish entertainment for years. And he alone, in an age dominated by television, has the temerity to raise a travelling roadshow and expose it to the hit-or-miss challenge of a deep winter tour. It's a punishing business, with 2, sometimes 3 shows a night, and wild country roads to negotiate in between.
Show me better leg.
Their transport is old, cold, and the subject of increasing industrial unrest.
Much better now they've got the heaters going. But we get the fumes, that's the only thing. I'm not frightened. Just wonder if all that luggage is going to fall on me, that's all.
It's still raining. It's been raining since we left Glasgow. It's rained. It's rained every second we've been in this bus. This luxury coach we have, it has rained. So it is clearly...
The stoic humour is hardly shared by the bus driver, who's also the drummer in the band.
The last 24 hours. I went to bed at 4 o'clock this morning. I got up again at 7:30 to take the bus for a wee minor repair. And the guy that said, he says, "Are you sure you don't want to scrap it?" I said, "Well, no." I said, "We've got to get to Thursday." So it's now, well, nearly 9 o'clock at night. And I reckon we've still got another 4 hours to go. I still haven't had my breakfast yet.
Well, I've taken a book on it, and I've got odds on that the bus will not make it. Nothing like it. Not a chance.
Could be hitting a wee problem just right now, because I can notice that the gauge, the register for the dynamo is going about 15 minus, and my lights are fading fast. The time is not on our side at the moment.
That's it. What happened to the chip shop, Bobby?
We're still building it.
Oh, God. This is another day, another dollar.
You want the heating off?
Darkness, rain, and a reluctant bus have now made them late for their next destination, Melvick. To convince their waiting audience that they've not been abandoned altogether, Ken, Swan and McGee have been sent ahead by car to hold the stage. This, man and toy, they've done for almost an hour.
Hasn't gone round like that all the time, eh? Fixed it.
There can be no secrets here from the audience. No stage, no curtains. It's original theatre in the back room of a pub.
Can we do the number yet? No. Oh, we can't. We got a drummer yet? No, we need a drummer. No, we'll wait till we get the drummer. Now listen here. I'll tell you what. We'll do a few jokes. We'll try this side here, just to see who's the best to see. Now, there's a fella stood at the... I'll be with you in a minute. Don't worry. There's a fella stood at the bus stop, and look at the bus stop, it said, queue the other side. He walked across the road and he missed the bloody bus. Do you get it, Mrs. McIntosh? Walked in here, we'll go across. There's a woman, here, listen, there's a woman walked into the butcher shop. She said, could I have a bit of bacon, please? The butcher said, lean back. She said, could I have a bit of bacon, please? Oh, shit.
The arrival of Calum Kennedy equates roughly to a royal tour of the Falkland Islands. The voice of the Highlands warms up with a few numbers in Gaelic. But the one they're waiting for is dark Loch Nagar. Mr. Kennedy certainly leaves no emotion unscathed.
Snowflake reposes, ere they still be sacred to freedom and love. O'er the crags that had wild and majestic, the steep crowning glories
Mr. Kennedy's almost Neapolitan ability to arouse passions on a freezing Scottish night amounts to near genius. The show is followed by a ceilidh, a dance, at which even gentlemen of indeterminate age begin to wonder whether their luck might have turned. Consternation, however, has broken out in the engine room of the band. Bobby Croney, having stopped driving the bus and immediately started playing the drums, is feeling less than well. As he's led to his bed, the comedian takes over percussion.
How are you holding up?
Oh, I'm bearing up, not too bad. I'm a wee bit better. I got some meat there, so not so bad. I think it was a lack of the food that was kind of knocking me down there for a wee while. And Calum's bad temper as well.
Students of Scotland's cultural heritage may even recognise what's going on here as an eightsome reel. Melvick, however, has its own ground rules for late-night dancing. These include the sevensome reel and what from time to time seems more like Scotland playing England at Murrayfield. The cameras, alertly assuming the police have been called, shadow the first uniform they see to the scene of the crime. They discover an unfortunate turn of events. The law is actually the ambulance service. The condition of Bobby, the drummer, is now causing alarm.
Lord, I feel so embarrassed. I've had to pull these people out of their bed and whatnot. But I wish I'd never left my mommy.
Come on, Bob.
You can carry on now with this.
Carry on. Righto, Bob.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning before the long night's day ends with Bobby being driven away for a rest. A rogue bus, a remote hotel overlooking a headland familiar only to wartime convoys on their way to Murmansk. It's now they discover that another man has gone missing. Russell Lane, stage manager, comedian and impersonator, has disappeared. Escape is suspected and later confirmed. But Russell Lane was also the reserve bus driver. It now leaves Rosemary, the girl Friday, to take over the horrors of driving.
But I'm not driving a dirty bus. Because a clean one always goes better.
Well, it's a pity about Bobby, actually, because he's a very nice guy. It's just probably a bit of exhaustion that's come over him. It's not a heart attack, as they said. So, hope he'll be better soon. But apart from that, there was a fit one that ran away in the middle of the night. Win one, lose one. That happened to us before. Some of them just can't take it, you know. They just up and go.
And
there's no sign of them in the morning, they're gone.
Russell, of course, escaped. He had a good escape. He told nobody. I must remind him about that. He never even came to the committee and told us of nothing. He just got on a taxi and disappeared. Not kissed my elbow or anything. Clever. Clever, Russell. You managed that one.
I mean, this is really a big joke, but I mean, how
Well,
much...
it started as a joke, but it's quite serious, I can assure you.
Rosemary's never driven a heavy vehicle before, but she does her best to support the theory of a fellow Scot that it's better to travel than arrive. But then, Robert Louis Stevenson had never heard of the Calum Kennedy show. Humour survives, but by now it's more an antidote against the mounting suspicion that dying a death on the stage is the least of their problems.
Well, it's not easy. On a single track road, you've got 3 inches on either side. And you saw yesterday we went into the ditch. And it's frightening. It's frightening for the actors sitting in the back. And they scream and they shout. It's nerve-wracking, to say the very least.
That was Sue, the deputy driver who can't even get the bus into reverse.
Well, 5 days of 4 hours sleep a night, travelling on this bus. Onloading and offloading that bus every single day, 3 times a day, with heavy speakers, PA system. It's difficult to keep your sense of humour, actually, you know, when it gets about 3 o'clock in the morning and you're still standing, you know, waiting for something to happen.
At this juncture, the glamour of show business is beginning to deflate at roughly the speed of the coach's front offside tyre. By their next stop, a former hunting lodge of Andrew Carnegie, who wisely fled to America, there's a distinct atmosphere of insurrection.
We better get them down here, haven't we? Eh? Well, we can't, what else can we can't do anything. The bus is knackered. No. Well, in the middle of God knows where. Where is it? Where is this?
About 5 hours from Lear, but where the hell Lear is it?
Where is Lear? The train's come up this far.
No. How can you expect people to go on and try and entertain and try and do a performance which you know you're capable of when you're tired and you've been cooped up in dreadful conditions all day? It really just isn't on, and it's a credit to the professionalism of the guys here that we've got this far.
We need a helicopter.
This whole deal just reminds me incredibly of the night we were working in Inverurie. I think it was the night that the day that President Kennedy was shot. We were working with a wee guy called Jimmy Miller, who was a drummer and a real character, nice wee fella. And we're sitting in the dressing room and somebody came in and said, "You're not going to believe this, Kennedy's been shot." Wee Jimmy looked up absolutely shattered and says, "Oh God, what the hell's going to pay us out on Friday then?"
Yes, I was a mental nursing assistant for a while before I came to do this, yes.
We've got to travel about in that wreck over there, and it's just horrific.
Sue, the driver, and Barbara Johnston, the dancer who's never danced, are the next to defect. An invigorating morning is matched by sensational news. The bus has gone, replaced now by rented transport, which Mr. Kennedy insists on driving himself.
Oh, I've just got a couple of new vans. Yeah. A couple of new vans. Make them a little bit happier. You know, the heater wasn't working in the bus. So. Right. So I hope they're warm for the rest of the trip.
Yeah. Well, good luck anyway.
And
hope it keeps them with you.
Well, there's no business like show business.
The negotiation of the van round the nearest corner is merely a prelude to its complete disappearance. The defection season is now at its height, and 2 accordion players have borrowed it to make their escape. Traced by telephone, Alan has already reached his Aberdeen home.
Well, there you are. You're in the history of the great escapes.
We did the right thing. We saw the team okay because we were playing in Liverpool the next night, obviously. So we left the van in Liverpool with the keys, with brains. And a note for Calum telling him, where the van was. So all the rest of the team had to do was pick up another band.
So we woke up. There was Ian, myself, Ken Swan and McGee. Well, you can't count McGee, he's a dummy. And myself. Ken Swan, McGee, the dummy. Calum and Rosemary, the secretary, the princess, she. That's all. And no band. And 1 bus shot. They've nicked my bus. I'll get the police.
In the wake of Mendelssohn and boatloads of romantic poets, Calum Kennedy's survivors reach the romantic Hebrides. They appear to be shut. Across landscapes reminiscent of films about Rasputin's childhood in Russia, they head for the local school gymnasium, still questioning the authenticity of the tourist posters.
I've seen pictures of these islands, no trees and just rocks and peat bogs, so I was sort of expecting it to be like this. I didn't think the winds were going to be so strong, though. Job to stand up.
You're 1 minute in the opera house, and the next minute you're playing all, not quite in a toilet, but some of them are very small. But they're great. The whole thing about it is that the people you go to where some of the outposts, and people are very appreciative that we bring a show that distance.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Calum Kennedy show on tour. And it's your show of Blair Douglas and the trio.
The young replacement accordionist swiftly picks up the idiom of the tour, questioning everything, including, it seems, his own artistic integrity.
Just that it's the sort of Scottish tartan thing, you know, which I can't stand. You know? I find it objectionable, in fact. You know?
Can't believe it. You look marvellous. It's definitely out of somewhere.
We've got to wait for the lights to go off in the hall first.
All right, Chris.
Okay.
In contrast, enormous professionalism survives, none more so than from Christopher Covington and his puppets. But Lou Grant lives or dies by audience reaction. Short of drawing his jokes in coloured chalks on a blackboard, he comes close to his own wit's end.
Did you hear about the Irishman had a leg transplanted and his welly rejected it? No, you didn't. No. What about the Irish diver at the bottom of the seabed? He got a message for the boat above. He said, "Come up quick, we're sinking." An Irishman went through the car wash. The fellow said, "That'll be 50 pence, Paddy." He said, "How do you know I was Irish?" He said, "We don't get too many motorbikes through here." Does your heart fill with pain? Shall I come back again? Tell me, dear, are you lonesome tonight?
Here in the Hebrides, Lou Grant finally discovers what lies out there for a comic after the end of the pier. But show business law prevails. Defiantly, if cynically, the tour continues.
From here, with no respect for religious.
Oh, look at me, McGee. Look. Oh, look at the V, McGee. Go on, yep, singing a Gaelic, kid.
There's people here from Skye.
I wish I knew some Gaelic jokes. Oh, look at this. It's a suffocation time. Look at that. You know, that's the back of my jacket.
Are you worried about going on the boat tomorrow?
I am.
Do I see fear in your eyes?
You see fear.
Your eyes have gone green as well as your face.
Well, it's the only time I've ever seen the crew being sick on a boat going on.
You sure they were the crew?
The journey from South Uist to the island of Barra is geographically brief. But a mechanised coracle and a 4-7 gale inspire much the same confidence that an astrologer might have taken aboard the Titanic.
I get sick in the mouth.
Happily, the Eternal Father is strong to save once again, but noticeably, the tour is going downhill. From city halls to smaller stages to school gymnasiums, and now to a hotel dining room. Beneath the banter, there was now a deep sadness. Men almost pleading for any reaction. Men who no longer even know where they are.
We want some atmosphere and some hand clapping and some singing and some laughing. It shows to the world that the people of Paris are really happy, happy people. And you are, aren't you? You are.
It's no Harris.
Go away, I'm saying.
It's no Harris.
Oh, well, no Harris. Where is this? Where is it? Where are we, Kathy? Barry. Barra. It's Barra. I used to have a Barra in Glasgow, you know. Sell things. I used to sell things at Barra. And that boat that came over... Eh? The Barra... Did you ever go to the Barras, Kathy? Did you? Do you come from Glasgow?
Who's like this?
For Ian Fraser, who's young, there's no cynicism behind the remorseless public smile. If he wants to make it, the only way out is along the road to the Isles.
All the time, I wonder what on earth I'm doing here. I could be home instead I'm stuck in somewhere I don't even know where I am. I'm sure you wouldn't go into it if you thought you were going to struggle for the rest of your life. I'm sure you've got the hope that you may just suddenly click somewhere along the line. I'm sure it's... The great thing about it is that you just never know what might happen. It could be sort of Ben Becula today and Las Vegas tomorrow. Who knows? I mean, I know it's ridiculous, but it's probably the only business in the world where the change could be so incredible in such a short time. I mean, as I said, I'm putting a lot into it now. And if the returns, and I don't mean just money, but I mean, if the returns and the conditions in my lifestyle doesn't improve, then I'll go back to what... I used to be in the hotel business. I was trained in the hotel business. I can go back and do that. I don't want to. I really want to commit myself to this business and hopefully be a successful professional. But if it doesn't work out, then, you know, that's where my life will lie. But
The next landfall from here, give a mile or two at the other end, is Broadway, New York. At 66, Ken Swan has come to terms with not making it. After all these years, the pool for his early morning swim round the year is still the Atlantic. He's a loyal, kind, intensely professional man who will now never make the Michael Parkinson show.
You can't get a drink here, you understand?
Oh, we can show your face. I'll get a drink anyway.
Ken, you treat McGee almost like a son. When was he born?
He was born in Gamages in London.
When?
About 45 years ago.
46.
Oh, yeah, 46.
Well, he was just a figure on sale in Gamages?
In Gamages, yeah.
Had you started your career as a ventriloquist then?
No. I just started playing with it.
You certainly were right there. You're still playing with it.
Never mind.
So what's the relationship between the two of you now?
Well, used to be brothers, but now it's father and son, or grandfather and grandson, because he's been around now for a long while. The thing is, I couldn't go on. It would be difficult for me to go on with any other dummy or puppet. After working with him, it's so natural. It's a natural, subconscious thing that you do. Yeah. And I get carried away. I laugh at some of his jokes.
But when are you going to stop? Yeah, I'm giving away a huge secret by saying you're 66.
Yeah.
When are you going to stop?
When I drop dead, I think. I mean, I'll have to keep going just to keep myself going. More or less like that. Because if I lie about, I mean, there's no future. I mean, I just keep going because, I mean, supposing I earned a lot of money, supposing I came into a fortune, which is not possible, but supposing I won the pools or something, I'd still do this.
Is McGee going to outlive you, or are you going to outlive McGee? What's going to happen?
Oh, for God's sake, he'll outlive me.
I'm going to get married with him.
Do you really mean that?
No, I don't really. No, I think he'll go on. Somebody will. I'll try and train somebody to take him over.
It's really the great old show business thing. The show must go on, the troupe must go on. I mean, you believe in that?
No, I think the show must go on because they need the money.
Now, on this particular trip, there have been one or two people who said they would do the show and didn't do it. What do you feel about that?
It's up to them. I mean, that's not my business. My business is, if I take on the thing, I'll do it.
The farewell exchanges in Barra are in Gaelic, provoking horrific suspicion that they're being invited back again next year. One man will certainly not be coming.
I'm on my way to the West End. I know that from last night's performance. There was a very big agent in that hall last night. Aye, in secret. Nobody knew except me. And he has got me lined up for a tour of all these things round here. These lumps coming out of the water. There's a secret circuit here that nobody knows about. And I am going to be the first star of these highlands here. I'm going to learn the language as well. I'm going to do all the gags in this. There's nothing funny about this place at all. Look at this abortion coming in. this floating matchbox. Look at it.
I left my heart in Fort San Francisco. Healthy agent, please. Healthy agent, please. I'm alone on this desolate asshole of a place.
You'll probably get more that way.
Healthy agent, please. Take me home, country road. Anybody take me home? Take me home.
Delivered, one washing machine. Collected, one theatrical company travelling steerage again.
Say, get him on here, Calum.
Oh, God, he's going to fall in between the two. Watch the
That's
chicken.
it, that one.
Watch the chicken.
Were you swimming this morning?
No, he was.
Wait a minute, come here, you. Come here. Behave yourself.
Not just you watching, because
There's no indignity left. Exhausted by another night's work, they're incapable of even recognising the route they're taking. Under the Cross of St Andrew, or rather 2/3 of the Cross of St Andrew, they're heading over the sea to Skye. Bonnie Prince Charlie also did it in troublesome circumstances, but even he wasn't grounded by a transport strike. Changing at North Uist, with the ferry not running, they discover their charter boat is stricken as well.
It's impossible for me to even hazard a guess. It's just off the corner of the pier there. Swing your camera around and have a look. That's it. In the deep water that the Hebrides uses every day, all of a sudden we started bouncing up and down and just slowed down and came in alongside. And when I've got a well down below decks there that I can open and have a look at the propeller down below, and I have a bent blade. An act of God.
Well, yeah, but what? An act of God, but what brought that bad luck about, do you think?
Well, I think it was the BBC actor.
You don't think it's got anything to do with the fact that they were acting yesterday on a Sunday?
No, none whatsoever. Because what happens to my propeller has got nothing to do in God's reckoning.
Thanks.
Are you going to pay me now?
No, no way.
Stranded, still a long swim from Skye, where the curtain is due to rise early evening, their consolation is that it's Lou Grant's birthday.
You'll enjoy this, Chris. I'm going to huff and puff.
Oh.
Now, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Chris, would you like the first slice? Excellent. Oh, marvellous. Now, you're wondering what my wish is going to be, aren't you? I could wish for a boat, I suppose.
Very good, Mahat.
In fact, entire fishing fleets are receiving mayday calls for assistance. In the meantime, the cast is starting to relax on a scale that is beginning to jeopardize all subsequent diction.
This is strange. I don't even know where we are here. Anyone?
No.
You're the first people who can't get over the sea to sky.
Where's the boys there? You want the boys to
16 pieces.
16 pieces?
16 pieces.
Just like myself, that's about where I'm at.
Yes. And they're absolutely stuck, and they're desperate, wondering if...
Knackered is a word, as they say in English. I don't know when I get home at all. I just don't know.
You don't care either.
Come and get me, somebody. Happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me. It's all a nightmare. I'm going to wake up, I know I am. I'm riding along on the cliffs of a wave.
Out there in the darkness, however, a small miracle has occurred. The chances of hitching a lift in the Hebrides are about as likely as being picked up by the Mare Celeste, yet their call has been heard. The Calum Kennedy show rides again, this time on an open fishing boat through the Minches.
Thank you for your hospitality.
Their rescuer, 25 miles out to sea when he heard their predicament, came from the oldest of motives.
So we figured we'd better come because the wife's got tickets for the show. So we didn't come, he wouldn't get the show, and my wife would be upset.
Don't you find this just a little bit absurd? Here we are on a fishing boat through the Minches, going to Skye in a most extraordinary way. Don't you find it in some way strange?
I certainly do, yes, it is strange. Very strange. Didn't think show business would be like this.
Are you really enjoying it?
Yes and no. I'm enjoying the fact that we're staying at some really nice hotels. I'm not too keen on all the lugging of the equipment and setting up in a different hall every day. That is rather hard work, especially for my type of act.
Surrounded by exotic deck fellows, some dead, others not far off it, the cast mercifully found themselves on a calm sea, if not exactly a prosperous voyage.
Lovely.
In Skye, a low tide means that they have to hump their equipment across tethered fishing boats and then up 15 slippery feet of harbour wall. At this juncture, any jokes about what Scotsmen wear under kilts would have provoked manslaughter. Yet again, miraculously, even if 2.5 hours late, the show goes on before an audience swiftly humoured by the pyrotechnic accordion playing of Alan Roy. Even that virtuosity has its price. The other accordion player, a Skye lad hoping to dazzle his family, becomes disaffected.
I'm not interested in show business. I'm not, no illusions of being a star or anything, like getting dressed up in tartan trousers or a kilt and playing the accordion. I think it's disgusting, in fact, you know.
But surely you knew you were going to do that when you actually signed
Yeah,
up?
I knew. I mean, I was fully aware of what I was going into, you know. I took it on basically to get a taste of show business, to see what the scene was like. I've done it, and it's been worth doing for the experience, you know.
Listen, do you know, he went for a job as a traffic warden, and this is absolutely true. He was patrolling Sauchiehall Street in Glasgow, and a police horse collapsed in Sauchiehall Street. He couldn't spell Sauchiehall Street, so he gave himself a rupture dragging the horse into Hope Street.
By day, there can be priceless compensations, but horse riding, even in paradise, costs money, and the car stop broke. They're also exhausted to the point where they begin to question not only what show business, but even life is about. You wonder why they do it.
How hard is it now to gather a party together like you've had on this tour?
Very, very hard. They're not as good nowadays as they used to be in the sense of stamina or discipline. You've got to be disciplined to go on our barnstorming tours.
Yeah, and I suppose one could say there's been a little bit of ill discipline on this one. I mean, you've virtually had a mutiny.
Well, I don't know if it's a mutiny. They were a bit disturbed at the bus we had at the start. It was too cold. And the first one ran away in the middle of the night, I think. He disappeared entirely without trace.
What was wrong with him?
I don't know. He hadn't been out on tour before. A chap called Russell Lane, he just lasted, I think, a couple of nights. And I think you separate the men from the boys pretty quickly on tough tours.
Have you ever been on a tour like this before?
Never. Never in all my life. I've done 4 tours of America and Canada. And this one takes it. I mean, really. Well, these two, let me put it this way, Ian. These tours used to be a lot of fun. They were a lot of fun. And the people in these islands, they don't get a lot of entertainment. And we try, I think, to just bring a bit of entertainment. And the lovely people, they do appreciate it. I don't think it's degrading. I think it's part of the showbiz scene. It's not exactly the West End, but it's all right. Look at the beautiful day today, isn't it marvelous? But this tour has come down so much that I'm going to leave it anyway. I'm going thinking so. I think the whole thing is going to wrap up after a couple of days. It's gone too far.
What happens now if there's another little bit outbreak of mutiny in the... You won't have much. You won't have much of a party left.
You're exaggerating, really. No, there's no mutiny. Just 1 or 2 that weren't up to it, and they just disappeared in the night.
But we lost so many people here. I mean, the 10 little nigger stories, nothing compared to this. Disappearing every morning. I mean, it was count time. Who's gone, who hasn't gone. 1 day at a time, 1 minute at a time. Changed the whole thing. Completely changed. Organisation, I don't know. Everybody's looking at each other, wondering where are we going next? Are we still here?
I think you find always when you get a tough job that the lazy ones or the ones like that, they don't survive, they go away. It's the strongest that survives. In any game, your game or mine, as long as you're nice about it, and as long as you give off your best, I think, you'll stay the course.
I mean, do you do it for the enjoyment, for the professional exposure, which is pretty small, really, or for the money?
Well, there's no exposure at all. I don't think Lou Grade is about here. If you're here, Mr. Grade, let me know. No, it's not exposure. It's not money either.
I mean, do you need to be here financially?
No, I don't. Not financially. I wouldn't be here if it was financially.
So what's the latest plan of the escape committee? You can't tunnel off
You're trying to get my plan. Well, and we're not too far from the mainland here. There's a Cael Lochalsh. A bottle of whiskey, I think, to the ferryman will get us over there at night. And then it's a number 12 bus to Glasgow Central. Goodbye.
To be quite personal, how much are you paying artists for doing what is really a very strenuous tour?
Well, dependent on the artist. There are some artists who also have drawing power. A few people that have, over the years, come here. Well, I've paid up maybe £1,000 a week for a top artist.
Yeah. Is that what they're getting on this tour?
There's nobody of that caliber on this particular tour.
Have you ever felt like throwing it up and trying something else altogether, or are you the showbiz professional?
I don't think else I can do. Drive a bus, maybe. I like it. I like the life. I like the business. It's nice to entertain people, especially to make them laugh. It's nice. If you can do it. It's getting harder, though. Very much so. It's a hard game, anyway. Enjoy the sunshine, Ian.
Enjoy the fishing.
Thank you very much.
Portree in the fading light can be very close to heaven. Unless, that is, there are two more performances staring you in the face. Another schoolroom, another church hall, another quorum who may or may not get your jokes. Anguish cries that it's tough at the top mean nothing here, where to top the bill is to be a Christian name scrawled on a scrap of paper.
You know what it's swearing like? Don't swear like. And it's me, Jeannie McCall. Right. And then it's everybody for themselves. Unknitted.
There's no...
Okay, on your tom-tom, please. Big roll. Okay, right, Chris. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the Calum Kennedy Show on tour. Here to open the show, Alan Roy and the boys of the orchestra.
Out front, a dazzling smile as the First Amendment. It is not the whole story of an industry called entertainment.